Annyeong, it's Mikey here. Thank you guys so much that I'm able to do this YouTube and keep building this channel up. It's all thanks to you guys that I was able to hit 1,000 subscribers, and thank you again. You guys really are making my dreams come true. Now, today, I want to thank Epomaker for sending me out the P75. This is their new aluminum keyboard that's 75%, and man, Epomaker is really making some cool keyboards and really high quality stuff for a very good price that is quite affordable. Well, if $100 is affordable to you, not everyone, that's the truth. So I hope you guys will like, subscribe, and catch the whole video of the unboxing, review, and teardown, as well as modding.
So let's start with the unboxing of the Epomaker P75. As soon as we open the box, of course, Epomaker always provides such a in-depth manual, which is awesome. Now, we're going to take a look at what this looks like. Wow. Epomaker has really stepped up their game to making a budget aluminum keyboard. Guys, this is really nice. And we're going to look at the box. So accessories boxes, we got the extra switches, which is going to be the zebra linear switches. And we also get extra accented keycaps. That's awesome. So you can actually make some changes depending on what you like for your whole keyboard. And of course, we can't forget about the switch puller, keycap puller, and the other box, which is going to be the cable. And Epomaker makes actually really nice cables. I think for $100, everything you're getting in this premium box is really nice. And of course, a USB dongle that goes right into the keyboard. And of course, let's weigh the keyboard before we do a sound test. So this is only about 1.5, 1.6 kilos, not too heavy. Now that we've done the sound test for both the stock and the loop switches, we're going to, of course, do a teardown. So this thing has 6 screws that you're going to have to remove on the corners and then the middles, and then we're going to see what's inside. So when I did the review for the MS68, I found that the screws were really too tight. This time around, they've actually done a great job where it's not super tight, and it's much easier to actually open up, and you don't actually have to pry it with the screwdriver, which is great. Now that we got the last screw out, let's open it up to see what's inside and what Epomaker did. So we're gonna move the knob, and then let's see how this gasket mounted keyboard works. So as soon as we get it out, of course you're gonna have the cables that are plugged in for the battery as well as the USB port. Now we're gonna remove those and then see what's inside. So we have 2 foams on the bottom, which is interesting. Normally we have a PCB foam on the bottom, and then we have the pour-on foam on the bottom as well, with usually a plastic sheet. This time they didn't do that. Instead, there's just 2 sheets of foam, and then we have the whole PCB plate foam all together with the little socks. So the keyboard actually comes with a 4000 mAh battery, which is not bad. Now, one thing I noticed about this keyboard was that the zebra switches are quite loud and clacky. So we're going to mod this keyboard up. Of course, we can't forget about the sound dampener that we use. And I'm also going to do a tape mod. But one thing I want to show you guys is how do I mod my space bars. I actually use the car sound dampener and I actually tape it inside the space bar. It actually helps a lot. It reduces a lot of the sound, a lot of the pinging because it's such a big keycap. So cover up the space inside and then put it back on and you should be able to get a big difference in terms of your stock keycap and this modded keycap sound for the spacebar. Now as you can see, I'm doing a tape mod on the back of the PCB. This is also to reduce a lot of the sound. I find that the P75 actually has a lot of room. I was quite surprised at how much room is available. You were able to do quite a bit of modding on this. So I'm taping the back. I'm going to do about 2 layers and the sound dampener on the bottom of the keyboard. And we're going to do the sound test afterwards. So the tape mod's about done. I'm going to give you guys just a slight sound test of what it sounds like put together. So I did find that it did help quite a bit. It's still quite loud though. So now it's time to do the sound dampener, the car sound dampener on the bottom. Normally you would peel off the back of it and tape it onto the bottom of the plate, which helps a lot more. I usually don't do this because I don't know what I'm going to do with this keyboard next. So in case anyone wants to mod it or if I gift it, they're able to just take it apart and do it themselves. So make sure when you put the pins back in, just be careful so you don't bend any pins. And then we're going to close it up, put in all the screws, and I'm going to give you a full sound test of the modded P75. Let me know down below, what did you guys think of the modded P75? So one thing I really love about Epomaker's keyboard for this one is it does have the USB dongle right into the keyboard, and you have those switches on the back, so you don't actually have to open up a keycap to be able to change the mode from wired, wireless, or Bluetooth. So another thing I want to show you guys is instead of using VIA with the Epomaker P75, if you go on the website, you can actually get their drivers. It will lead you to this website, and you can connect your keyboard and make all the changes here. So this is something different compared to what normally you'd be used to with the VIA, but they have actually made more of a dedicated thing for the Epomaker P75, which is really nice, but you will need internet to be able to make changes. So one thing about this keyboard that I wanted to mention was the zebra switches. There are a box switch, they're linear. I personally am not a huge fan of these switches just because they're so clacky and loud. If you are a fan of clacky switches or a bit of a louder switch, these would be perfect for you. I find that these do work well with gaming. In general, I find Epomaker makes great keyboards that are good for gaming because I find it quite easy to do different things in like Apex, like even super gliding. I didn't have any issues with it with this keyboard. But the biggest thing I noticed is the backspace, enter anything with stabilizers was very, very loud, especially the spacebar, even after modding it. It's quite just unfortunate how loud it gets. Now the thing about it, this keyboard, and I want to show you guys as well, is the back of the keyboard is so nice. Like Epomaker really made a beautiful, really high quality feeling keyboard. And that shape on the back, just so that, you know, the whole USB dongle is fully flush and everything is just really nicely built for this keyboard. It feels premium. even for a $100 aluminum keyboard. And the CNC feels so smooth. I think they did a great job, though it is quite fingerprint heavy. So careful, if you don't like fingerprints on, you're going to have to clean off the back quite often. But one thing I think though is that this build is really great. I would even suggest changing out the switches if you aren't a big fan of Clacky switches. So let me just give you a little bit of a comparison compared to the Zebra switches using the Gateron Milky Yellow Pro. Honestly, I think changing out the switches to the Gateron Milky Yellow Pro made it sound so much better. And I think if you were to get this and you were to mod it, it'd be great.
So what do you think of this Epomaker P75? I'm gonna be honest, guys, I'm not a big fan of these Zebra switches. I really think that if you like Clacky keyboards, as I was mentioning in the video, this is gonna be something that you'll enjoy. I personally am not a big fan of these because of how loud they are and how high-pitched and clacky they are. I'm gonna be honest, it does make my ears ring a bit, especially the spacebar and the enter and the backspace. I actually had to switch them out with other switches just to make it a little bit better for myself. Again, this is a personal preference thing, not for everyone. But, you know, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Take a check in the description below to take a look at Epomaker's website and more to be able to, you know, get more in depth with this keyboard. Again, it is really good for gaming though. I've tried it and I loved it. So please make sure to check out the other videos and like and subscribe.